Bang.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Spin around.
That's kind of loud. You start with that.
Good Sunday evening to everybody. Welcome to Been Around the Block and to our people that are watching our live stream. Maybe one or two, who knows? My name is Brooks. Here to introduce Lacee. Been Around the Block.
Hey.
Hey. And like I said, I'm Brooks Southern.
Brad Sparks.
Chris Ross.
Lacee Estes.
I'm wondering, okay, so I tagged y'all in the live video, and I'm wondering right now if it's going to be public since you're probably private.
Most definitely.
I think it'll be all right.
I think
I mean, it's kind of too late now, so.
it is.
All right, well, thank you for coming out. This is really cool. I'm glad that you agreed to do this. And yeah, where are your awkward questions, Bradley?
I'm really focused on fixing this, but all right.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to pause and fix it?
No.
Okay.
Just roll with it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. I really don't have an awkward question yet, so let me just think on that. Does anybody want to?
Did you got the question that I sent you, right?
Yeah, my reason why?
Yes. Do you want to answer it at the end?
That's totally up to you. Do you have a good answer now? And have you thought about a question for our next guest?
No, but I'll have a question by the time we end.
All right.
My reason why for just
It's up to interpretation.
up to interpretation. Okay, well, I feel like I'm kind of like a cat. Like I got 9 lives, you know? And so I feel like through my life, I've lived many different lives. Lots of them dark, lots of them heavy. And to be in those heavy places and to come out on the other side and to feel everything, you know, the pain and the joy and happiness and sorrow, to feel it 100%, not watered down, not diluted, fully authentically is the reason why to do anything. I think that God made us ancestral beings for connection and love and all those things, and to have something interfere with that flow of light is detrimental to us. At least it is to me, you know. And so that's my reason why, is just to be able to feel everything at full capacity and not die from it.
Well, it can help with helping other people too. That's the way I try and look at it with my sobriety is I can identify and help other people identify where my story is like with theirs, and I can, you know, hopefully get them help.
Do you think your why changes as you progress in your recovery? I think it does.
I think it has to.
It's got to.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
I feel like every year, it's a little different for me. And actually, it seems like every few months it changes around. You know, like I remember like last year it was me more focused on getting on track and becoming more of service.
Yeah.
And now it's like me working on more to further myself and better myself. So it changes often for me.
I do remember what I wanted to ask. Waffles or pancakes?
French toast.
You like French toast a la mode with ice cream on top?
Oh, absolutely not. Old school. We just want powdered sugar and syrup.
No, man. That's where it's at. Do some fruit, do some ice cream. It's fine. So, what's your favorite thing about your sobriety at this point? I guess we should say.
I get to do really cool shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, and hang around with some really cool people that I wouldn't normally mix with. and I get to be there for my kids. Like Chris was saying, I think things change with seasons. They come and they go, and I think like early in my recovery, it was imperative that I was around like-minded people. And as I got more time, it was imperative that I brought the things that my mentors had shown me into the home. Because the reality is that I put on, I'm a person, a different person when I'm out there with my friends and I'm doing, you know, good, healthy things. But our kids, they're the ones that know who we really are. You know, they're the ones that know what we're about to throw a fit about because you left those socks on the floor. You know, and I want to yell at my friends, pick up your damn socks. You know what I mean? So why am I going to yell at my kids to do it? Not that I don't. But
How many kids you got?
3. I got a 15-year-old. He'll be 16 this December. I know, right? Jake getting big.
That's crazy.
And then Rayleigh, she'll be 10 in June. And then I got Zachary, we call him Wood. He'll be 5 in August.
I forgot that your son and my niece are exact. Y'all, you're pregnant when my sister's pregnant.
Yeah.
How much sober time do you have?
Okay, my sobriety date is March 10, 2022.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I've been in and out I try to get sober a lot, you know. A lot.
What was it that finally made you surrender?
I think that, so we all God gives us grace, right? And typically in my life, He shed me grace and it had a shelf life. And I didn't take full advantage of it. And so that grace that it gave me shifted and it left. And this last time, I hadn't lost anything this last time. Like I didn't lose the car and the kids and the job and the friendships. I didn't lose anything, but I was dying. And I had an experience that I always experience going to treatment facilities because I'm hard-headed, I'm a hands-on learner. You know what I mean? I gotta be taught over and over again. And I go to rehab. That's how I gotta sit down and be still. You know, I gotta go to sleep. Y'all, I did the math one time. And I slept maybe like, I'm not very good at math, okay? And I slept maybe 18 days out of a year. And so I was tired. You know, I gotta go rehab, I gotta go to sleep. You know, and so I think that there's just something in me died. Something in me died one day, and I remember I was in my bathroom, and my kids are all home, and I'm in that bathroom, and I am screaming silently because I don't want my kids to hear me. Screaming so silently that when I was screaming, like my eyes were going black and you're seeing stars, you know what I mean? And I just asked God to just take every soul tie that was tied against me. Every ounce of anything that kept me from Him, take it, and I'll deal with whatever He brings to me. And His grace set in, and I haven't picked up since.
So, I know for me, like, going to jail, as bad as it sounds, I was relieved because I would be able to sleep after, you know, running a gun for months and months at a time. And yeah, I just sleep for days on end or get up for food trays or whatever, you know. It said that's the only time I actually got relief from any of that. What was your drug of choice?
Man.
Many of them? Was it like yes?
Yeah, man, I'm a connoisseur of types.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna guess meth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like to tinker a little bit. You know, yeah, meth, Xanax. I mean, what's in your pocket?
Yeah.
You know, I did the heroin stage back before it was killing fucking
Yeah.
everybody. You know, before Finney was in that shit. But meth, man, I wanna get high. I don't wanna die.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to stay awake and experience the casino.
That blows my mind now. You know, I think about if I were to go out and relapse on heroin, it'd be curtains straight up because it's all fentanyl.
Man, I'm telling you, like, I got out of the game right before fentanyl
Yeah.
and all the press pills was really popular. I mean, I think it had been going around for a year, but I didn't hear about it during my last year of addiction. So I look back and see how many people, I mean, Chris, you know somebody that just died today, right?
Yeah. My
Just
friend,
died today from fentanyl.
my friend Christian Stinson, he's not really like, me and her, we've known each other for a long time, and we all used to drink every single day. And this guy, he is kind of different. I didn't think that he would be the one to mess with, I guess, opiates really. But, you know, it's possible for anybody. Anybody can die from it.
Yeah, that's the real pandemic. Yes, man.
And it's not that it's just in heroin.
No,
You know, it's in
that.
everything.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I was cutting a guy's hair yesterday, and you know, some of my clients are still in addiction, and he was telling me how he'd got, because he's still using it, he was telling me how he got a hold of some what was it, meth, and he went to go shoot it, and he couldn't pull it back, so he shot it in his mouth, and he couldn't find out it was fentanyl, and he thinks he was safe, but he's still using. So I mean, his grace might run out.
I think that's one of the greatest ways I've ever heard it put, because I've had grace before, and I feel like it does have a shelf life. You know.
That was, I like the way
Yeah, that's really
yeah.
good. So.
Mine was like, whenever I was like really using a lot, it was like more on the point of, I was using to the point that you would think I was trying to kill myself. Like you would think that I was trying to commit suicide. That's how bad it was. You see me, whenever my brother passed away, like literally when Oxycontins were around, I used to have tons of them. And it became such it looked like I was trying to kill myself. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, you were bad.
So, Lacey, how old were you when you first did your first whatever?
Oh shit.
That moment when it entered your body and you was like, man, I want this for
Well,
the rest of my life.
The first time I ever did anything, I was probably 9 or 10, and this wasn't that moment though. I mean, but it was some fuzzy navels and some strawberry daiquiris that we were on a camping trip. You know, we split it between my brother, my sister, and a couple of us kids that we were out camping with. But the first time that I remember drinking, doing what I needed it to do for me, I was at a freshman party, and it was some trash can punch. And I remember this dude giving me a glass, and I downed the whole thing. And he said, "You probably want to slow down." And I remember it went down my throat, into my chest, my arms got bigger, my legs got bigger. I felt it underneath of my fingernails. And I could breathe, and my brain shut off for 1 second. And I just know that for me, I was so very aware of how I was different from all of you. From the way that I weighed, from the way that I looked, from the way that I talked, I was different. And in that moment, I didn't feel different. Now, I threw up that night. About 16 feet of sidewalk was stained red. You know what I mean? So that was a nice little walk. But I just remember thinking I wanted to do it again. And I did it again and again. Like Chris said, you know, when we grew up together and we partied. I don't remember having a job. I don't remember how I kept that apartment. I just remember going to sleep, waking up, partying, going to sleep, waking up, partying, going to sleep. I mean, every single day. Every day. That was fun.
I don't ever remember working.
You remember when the police came to the apartment and we were, they got me hemmed up. I was in cuffs and they told me that they would let me go if you came out. And I was like, "Don't come out."
Yeah.
And I went to jail.
I remember one time for like 3 weeks straight, every single one of our friends went to jail.
Yes.
Like, I remember I went to jail like 3 times in 4 weeks. And it was becoming ridiculous. Like, the Evan police, like, as soon as they saw one of us, it was, okay, you're getting arrested. Like, we don't even give a shit.
Shout out to Spring Creek Apartments. Y'all ruined my life.
Poor Chris, he's sweating.
I
I'm
know.
trying to cool down as best I can. So, well, tell us a little bit about your story. I mean,
Okay, just from what, the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, you can stop right where you live.
Oh,
I mean, start right where you left
I
off.
was born at an early age.
first 2 years I didn't speak to my parents.
Yes, I think that like even the beginning is a God thing. for somebody that didn't think she was important to God. Not that he didn't exist, it's that what I was doing didn't matter. You know, I just kind of got overlooked. I was born, I weighed 4 pounds and 1 ounce. You could fit me in a teacup. My dad said at one point I looked like a hairless cat, and the next moment I looked like a drowned rat. He said he could watch my ears grow. My organs were translucent, and he could see through my body, and they said that I would be mentally retarded. Maybe still am. I'd never be able to function if I made it past 6 weeks. I didn't think I was going to make it. I don't remember, what I've been told is that I was in the NICU. I didn't have a name for 5 days. My mom's friend brought her up a baby pair of Reeboks. And my mom took out that shoelace and she put it up next to me, and I was shorter than it, so she made me Lacee for 2 weeks.
That's
You
pretty
know what
cute.
I'm saying? Right? Kind of cute.
Yeah.
And I guess God had other plans, so here I am, you know, thriving and surviving. So, I mean, I grew up in a pretty, I think it was normal. I mean, I find out now that it was pretty dysfunctional, but I think our upbringings are kind of like working around cow manure. I think if you're around it long enough, you get used to the smell of shit.
Yeah.
You know, so you get used to anything. But my mom and dad got divorced when I was like 3, but they lived together till I was like 14. So that was real fucking weird. You know, like 2 people, that's some weird, it was weird. You know, I got an older brother and an older sister. We were back to back in school. So if I'm a freshman, she's a sophomore, and he's a junior. All right, and they did not have the best reputations growing up. My brother did not have a good reputation, but he's solid as fuck right now. You know, he's also he's in recovery, and is a amazing thing to see. But so we're back to back, right? And so I'm constantly getting in fights because of their like, I guess what people think about them, you know. So it gets pushed off on me, and so I had some names to live up to, you know, especially when they're known for fighting and they're known for their loud voices and partying and getting down. And so I automatically felt like I had to be a better partier. You know, I had to have the loudest voice in the room, you know, fighting at parties, you know, all that. And then, so yeah, I mean, that just set it off. Like Chris said, I mean, we've been partying since I can remember. I can't tell you, I mean, back when ecstasy was a thing, when it was good, I remember the first time I ever took was a yellow thumb print. It was like a trip stack. And I did this for like 9 hours, just rubbing my hands. They were raw as shit. I remember looking at the speakers of a radio, and the words were coming off the speakers bouncing, you know what I mean? It was good, they were good. But with that, you know, I think it progressed. I don't know if I always started out not being able to control my using and stuff. I think it progressed into a lot of things. I can see now that even in high school, I think I actually became fully addicted because I dropped out of high school. You know, I got pregnant early. Met the one, I swear to God, the one, I married him. You know, and you know, started having kids. You know, I started having kids, and
You had your first kid when?
I think it was 18, maybe going 19. So I was just a kid, you know, and poor oldest ones. You know, like, who wants to go on a plane, the pilot's first flight? You know, that shit is scary. Like, nobody wants to sign up for that, but here they are. You know, and he went through shit, man. I put that little boy through things that you couldn't tell now. Like, you couldn't tell now. I think that's what's so good is that, like, he was in foster care and with his younger sister, and they got split up at one point, you know, and I went to my first treatment facility at Eagle Ridge out in Guthrie. I was on heroin and stuff really bad, and I was dancing because you get paid to party and whatever. Not very much of a lady, I did some things that no respectable woman would do. That I put myself in situations and circumstances that I needed to be sober to get out of. And I was never sober. So I went to my first treatment facility, and he was probably 4 or 5. And I went to Eagle Ridge. My mom told me it was 30 days and I could smoke cigarettes. I could not smoke cigarettes, and I stayed for like 18 months.
Whoa.
Y'all,
Wow.
yeah, pissed. I came out 280. Looked like I ate me twice. My face was as big as a basketball. Man, dude, and if there's women listening, I think weight is one of our biggest triggers. It always has been. We're vain creatures, and it has always been for me. Like I said, I'm very well aware of how I look different from you and how I feel different. And so I went to that place, and people, I got some mentors in there. Nothing stuck. Nothing stuck. And I think about the things that I said. You guys remember your first treatment facility? Do y'all go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You remember how stupid you fucking sounded? Because you knew everything. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I know I sounded retarded as shit. Like, bitch, sit down and shut up. But I think it's funny because I go to treatment facilities and I immediately become a leader. Like, people listen to what I say. And mind you, I got like 3 days sober, and I think I can run the facility. Like, I know how to do this. People listen. It's crazy. I don't know anything. But so I go there, and I end up going to Ponca with my dad, and the man comes back. That first baby daddy comes back, and we move back out here to the city, and I immediately go back to dancing, and doing all the things that I do. And
So after you're in treatment for 18 months, how long after getting out did you use?
Probably 2 months. I went to a bar. I didn't know nobody, but I went to a couple places and found some people that were trying to live right, and they were just too old. I couldn't vibe with them. They were old. So I know that one place I can go where there are people like me, and those always happen to be a bar. And so that's what I did. And before I know it, me and my dad are fighting, and I've never fought that man. But I brought addiction into his home, and he didn't ask for that. And I brought this little boy, because that's what I do, is I put myself in homes with my children to manipulate. Because if you grow attached to them, it's hard for you to kick me out. I got kids. So I put that man in some situations that he didn't deserve to be in. My dad is probably, he was in Iraq. He had been sick most of my life. He had kidney failure, Crohn's. He worked and he worked and he worked, and he never complained. He never complained. My mom would go to the store for milk and be gone for months. She liked crack. And I did a lot of things, but I never done crack. I heard it's nice, and it'll get you there. But
Yeah, I'll get you there, but you'll blow all your money before.
See, and I like my money.
See, I only did it once, and I was barred out, so I don't remember. I was in blackout.
Yeah,
That's the only drug I've never done.
crack.
Sure.
I swear, I've never done crack. That's the only drug I've never done.
I've done a lot.
I've done every single
Fucking
drug,
lot. I've shot up
but
crack. Yeah.
like
I
ketamine,
don't want to crack.
mescaline, peyote, mushrooms, acid.
Alright, let's continue.
Don't want to crack.
A lot of crack.
I hear VCRs, so shit. I don't know where I was at.
You were with your son and you were nipping
You're talking about your mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
months
so
at the time, yeah.
thank you, Brooks.
Yeah, it was about crack, so.
And so, anyways, I came back up to the city and I started doing what I do, which is going to the club and making money and Xanax, man, lots, probably, I'm eating probably 6 bars a day, drinking a fifth, and still walking in 6-inch heels. Like, at least I think I am, making money and not doing anything with my life. get pregnant again, you know, with the same man. 'Cause that's what I tend to do is, these men. Realize it's me though too, you know, and so I get pregnant again, I'm still doing the same thing, and there is something really dark, about being 6 months pregnant and putting needles in your arms. That is probably the darkest place that I've ever been in my entire life.
So I'm gonna ask, so for timeline purposes, how old were you when you're 6 months pregnant the second time?
24 maybe?
That's what I was gonna guess because she had her first
Yeah. They're about 5 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them. Space it out nice. So I'm about 24, and I remember I couldn't stop, man. I just couldn't stop, and I wanted to, and I remember praying, and in that same breath, I'm praying, if you're real, man, please just don't let me do this, and I'll do it in that same breath, you know, and that's a really hard reality for, because I promised myself I'd never do something like that. I'd never do those things to my kids. But the reality is that I step over my kids to go get high, and I do it every time. Because I love them. I love them more than anything in this entire world, and I would kill for them, and I wouldn't even blink an eye. But my disease is more powerful than the love that I have for the kids. And so I ended up going to my sister's, and I detoxed on her couch 6 months pregnant. I had febrile seizures from the amount of Xanax that I was taking. I don't know if you guys ever had like sleep paralysis.
I've never.
No, that is terrifying. Okay, I guess it's something with Xanax and dope, but it's like I'm sleeping, but I can see everything. Like we're here right now. You know, and I'm asking you to help me, wake me up, but I can't move and I can't breathe. And that shit is terrifying.
Yeah, that sounds pretty frightening.
It is terrifying because I don't even know how to, that's like some dark forces type of shit. And so I go and I finally get off, you know, I finally am about to have this baby, so we cannot pop. You know what I mean? I still think this was before they were even really tested, like things like that. And so, I did, you know, I got to detox, and she didn't really know much about the disease or anything like that I was under. And then I had this little girl, and she was tiny. She wasn't by any means like I was when I was born. But she did lose quite a bit of ounces, and went down to about 4'9". But she's beautiful now, you know. I think she's got lots of emotions, and they're very intense. She reminds me of me when I'm using. You know what I mean? So I'll save her receipt, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
So I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and it's
And it's really, you know, and I feel almost like, should you say that, Lacee? But it's like, that's real, like I'm just ready. You know, I'm just ready. Thank God that I am. And so after that, I ended up going back to do what I was doing because I needed money. You know, I don't believe God can provide for me, at least not as quickly as I need Him to provide for me, so I gotta go get it. And so that's what I did, and I went back to the same shit I was doing the same drugs I was doing. And I remember I had borrowed somebody's van, and this lady's van, and she was really nice to me and my kids, and I took her van and to work, and I never came back, and my kids were there. And so I don't know if y'all know, but if you have kids and they put a missing persons report out on you, DHS automatically gets called. And so DHS came and got my kids, and I would like to tell you that I jumped into action and got sobered up, but I didn't because I was relieved. Like, for finally, man, I'm a single mom, and I got these two little consciences running around telling me I can't get high like I want to. I can't get high like I want to, and I can finally breathe. And I did that, and I went with it, and I was out there for a really long time, it felt like. So me, on my best day out there, I'm about 115 pounds. I got bubblegum pink hair. I'm getting pumped on the back of a bicycle on the south side of Oklahoma City at 4:30 in the morning. I got a car battery in one hand and a chihuahua in the other.
And this is a true story.
True story. That is me. Okay? That's me up to my own shit. Like, I know that. Like, I was out there stealing car batteries to take them to metal check to get a win for a night. 7 of them will get you that. You know?
Turn your, yeah, I had somebody just come, no, it's all of us, we need to turn our volumes up on these for the live stream. So the volume's quiet. So just hit the plus button up here,
It's gonna be the middle
the
button.
middle button, yeah.
How much?
Do it twice. Yeah.
Oh, I did it 3 times. I'll just go down.
If 2 is good, 3 is dead.
Yeah. You have the cure for alcoholism, I'll take 2.
Let's cut that out. Let's just ask the audience.
What are we doing?
How's the audio, guys?
Yeah, like I said, I had somebody just message me saying I was a little quiet. That should be better. Yeah.
Good.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, we got thumbs up.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, people actually watch it.
Yeah, we're happy to be live streaming for you
Yeah,
guys
she
too.
said much better too.
Awesome.
Well, damn, I said some funny stuff.
Missed all the good stuff.
I'll say you have to actually listen to the podcast on Spotify.
And we do have it on, we will have it on YouTube.
It's on Netflix also.
We'll be on that.
Hey, I'm speaking stuff into existence.
That's right, 100%.
If you make it on Netflix, happy bad.
Yeah, so that's one thing we have been planning on doing with everybody. We're gonna have a follow-up episode with everybody. So
Yes.
we'll have that back for sure. So, pink hair, chihuahua,
Car battery.
car battery.
Yes.
Okay.
I love your memory, Brooks. Like, I was
It's crazy because I can't remember some.
He's like, crap. Crack.
I knew you said chihuahua.
So I am, car battery, chihuahua, pumped on the back of a bicycle. So that's pretty much.
Are you on the pegs like this?
Absolutely, I can't
Okay,
drive
I'm on
animal
a
with
visual.
battery.
I'm a visual person.
I don't
so-
even know where the chihuahua came from.
Oh, it wasn't yours?
No, it wasn't mine. I don't even know what happened to it either. It's
Aw.
okay. You know what I mean?
South side where? I grew up on the south side, so look, where we at?
Oh boy, come on. I don't know because I mean, it just.
Southeast,
I was-
southwest, I mean.
It had been on the south. It might have been the southwest.
Last time I saw you, whenever you saw me and I looked really, really fucking bad, we were at the Southwest 29th and I-35 at the hotel.
When did I see you there?
You were like behind there, and I walked behind there, and I look over, and I was like, that's not Lacee.
That'd have been
No.
944, not 35.
It was 35.
Then that's not southwest.
I mean, southeast, that's what I meant. Southeast, Sonic's right there, and behind us, the hotel.
Yeah, I know the
Oh, yeah, I guess you don't remember.
Alright, we're getting off track.
Yes, I do. Okay, yes. That was about the same time that the police had the Plaza Inn
Yeah.
surrounded. You could hear them on the intercoms. I mean, we've been in the hotel room for days, okay? And all of a sudden, you're like, come out with your hands up. Like, damn it. That shit was wild.
So you got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Now you got pink hair, car battery,
And
chihuahua.
chihuahua.
Being pumped on the bicycle by who? Your baby daddy?
No, just this guy that I met.
Okay.
Just this guy.
Where are your kids at?
They're in foster care, so they've probably been in foster care for like 2 years.
So it's gotten really bad.
It's gotten really bad to the point that I was considering giving them up for adoption. So, because my mom was so gone, you know, I couldn't see any purpose, and at that point, they were better off without me. It never occurred to me that maybe you should get sober.
Right.
It never even occurred to me that I was capable of getting sober. And even at that first trip, I didn't even know treatment facilities existed. I didn't even know they existed to the point you could take your children. Like, there's something flawed in this system that we don't know about that, you know? People to this day don't have any idea. There are people out there that have no idea that there's a way of life that's so dramatically different. And so, in that time, you know, I get pregnant again. I have 3 kids in custody. I have 3 kids right now, y'all. I have had four. This third baby, I had got pregnant with, and I was in a real, I get into relationships with people because they are conditional. What can I get from you? There's a transaction that needs to happen. It doesn't always mean like we're gonna have sex for money. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like I need to lay my head down. And so like I need to be your friend. You know what I mean? Or I need to insert myself for safe reasons because I don't do well like under a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, because I might have been homeless, but I wasn't under the bridge homeless. Okay, I was in a hotel room or I was finding a house. Or I was at the casino. Okay. And so I got into some domestic violence situations and ended up pregnant. And I just remember I had a felony at one point. That van that I had took and never gave back, we got caught in Cleveland County. Thank God it was Cleveland County because I've never been to Oklahoma County. I'm not never. Okay, I do not plan on it. I am upscale. I like to think I'm classy, and so Cleveland County is where it's at. So shout out to Cleveland County Jail. You guys have phenomenal amenities. The coffee cake is fabulous. So that's where I went, and I didn't know that I was pregnant at that time. The first time I caught that felony, and I didn't realize I was pregnant until I was about 5 months pregnant, y'all.
Oh, wow.
So my mind was so far gone that I didn't even realize that I had missed a cycle or anything until I went to the doctor. And I don't even know why I went to the doctor. I just remember the lady did an ultrasound. She said, "You're 5 months pregnant. You're having a boy."
Damn.
I said, you know, and I just started crying because I believe in choice. You know, and at that point in my life, and this might be, I'm sorry people disagree, but at that point in my life, I would have terminated that pregnancy. But I couldn't, you know, and so I finally get away from that domestic violence situation, and I end up going back to jail. I get picked up on that felony at Riverwood, and because the person I was with could not sit down. You know, you can't ride in a car with me if you can't sit still. You know, like me, I get out there, but like I need you to hold your composure. You know, at least let's pretend that we're not high. You know, and so we're at Riverwind, and I mean, just he's zooted up, talking to the machines, and just everybody they come up to us, and they're like, "We need you guys to come to the back. We're gonna do an ID check." I already knew, like, no. Who takes you to the back room for an ID check? I got it right here in my purse. You know what I mean? And so we go, and I got a felony warrant. And so they take me, and I get out, and then I get taken again, you know, like 2 weeks later. And they, I just remember the judge told me, "Come to court, Miss Estes, come to court." And so they let me out, and I remember calling Cleveland County Court clerk. On the way, you guys, I called them like 14 times, okay, letting them know I was coming. If they hold court for you, past the names on the docket, you are probably going to jail. They do not do that, you know what I mean? But they held court for me. And I show up, and my probation officer was like, "You gotta take a piss test." So I'm like 7 months pregnant at this time. You can even tell. Apparently, I had to tell the lady, I was like, "I'm gonna pop pot." She was like, "For what?" And I told her, I was like, "Man, I'm 7 months pregnant." And so I go up to the judge, and I want to give you a clean start. And so that's where they call your color every day. And I'm shaking my head, and he's like, "Miss Estes, why are you shaking your head?" And I go, "I'm 7 months pregnant, and I can't stop putting needles in my arms, and you think calling my color every day is going to make me stop?" You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. And so he put me in jail, and I cried because I could not believe that he was doing that. And so he put me in jail, and I ended up going to Jordan's Crossing. Got out on an ankle monitor. So I'm 7 months pregnant on an ankle monitor. It will talk to you when you are out of zone. So that's nice. It happened to me at the WIC office one time. It was fucking gnarly. I was just like bent down, like my belly's on the way, and I'm like, you know, it's fucking insane. And so I go to Jordan's Crossing, and all these women came in pregnant. They had open cases. They left. had babies, came back with kids. You know, I went to the hospital, had a baby. You know, and my kids are still in custody. I'm getting visitations because that's what happens when you go to treatment. Shit starts kind of happening for you, you know. And so I have this baby and they take you. It was 2 days before Christmas. And I have felt pain. But that type of pain was something that I can't even describe to you. They took it, and I had to go back to that treatment facility without my baby. And there is something traumatic when you are a new mom or a long period and you want to nurse and everybody else's baby's crying, make you lactate, and you can't do anything for yourself. You don't have a baby there, you know, and so that is, it's traumatizing. But I did get visits, you know, and I got to do these things, and I got out, I went to Providence, you know, and I started having reunification and all those things and building relationships, and I do what I always do. You know, I get messed up. I remember going to court, and I was supposed to have my kids back that day, and I went out. I always get tight at just the right time, you know, usually when life's about to really happen. And I remember walking up the court steps, and my oldest son, Jaden, looked at me and he said, "I'm not coming home with you today." I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And that judge told me, you should give up your rights. You should sign that piece of paper right now because we're never giving your kids back to you. He was like, but I'm going to give you a couple more months because I think you need a little bit of hope. He said, but I just don't think you have it in you.
Is this Cleveland County?
No, it's just Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Yeah. And so that happened, you know, and I was at Providence, and I ended up just doing what I always do. And I go to rehab a lot, always rehab. And I lost the apartment, went to community house, and was still having unification, got met some really good people in there, got a really good foundation, and left from there and went to sober living. And I loved sober living, and I think it's essential to people that are coming out of treatment facilities. I think we needed to coexist with each other. And I love sober living and treatment facilities because it really lets you look at stuff from a different perspective. Like, we were all raised differently, you know, like, and there are people that don't know how to clean. There are people who don't know how to bathe themselves. And instead of being angry and upset at these people or individuals, it taught me to ask, do you know how to do this? Because some people weren't taught these things, you know, and it helped me to look at situations where we had a situation where a girl was hoarding food in facilities. I mean, she was hoarding food. And people were mad, all the good stuff's gone. Instead, like,
Asking why, and this may be a defense mechanism in that case.
she never had enough.
Yeah.
She never had enough growing up. It was always a fight for food. Thank God it was never a fight for food at my house. You know, we had food. We may not have a lot of money, but we had food, you know. And so those type of experiences, I learned a lot from treatment facilities. I learned a lot from being in group settings. And sober living was essential. You know, I met some of the best friends that I still have today, being in there. And I think in those moments when I was having trial reunification, I had the son that I had, Jonathan, lived with these foster parents, and he looked just like them. He looked just like these people, and I had thought for a while that I was going to give him up for adoption. It was like God had really put that heavy on me. I didn't feel shame for thinking about it. Like I was a bad mom. I was a bad mom, and I really didn't even think how it was going to affect the baby. The only thing that I thought that it was going to affect were my two oldest, because they know that he exists. My oldest knows that I have another child. Would you? And he's asking me, "Are you going to give me up like you gave him up?" You know. And so that was my main concern when I decided to give Jonathan up for adoption. Was to those foster parents, and when I did give him up for adoption, we went to the same courtroom with the same judge. when I got my kids back, it was at that same judge, and it was his last case of his career, and he told me what a shining star I was. You know, he said, I just didn't think you were ever gonna make it, and look at you now. You know, I got those kids back, and I'd like to say I stayed sober, you know, but I'm hard-headed. Like I said, I'm a hands-on learner, you know, so I gotta keep doing what I do. And always, you know, I go to treatment facility after treatment facility. I was at this place called Hope House, and Hope House is a wonderful program. It's perfectly geared to moms and children. They also do help some married couples and things like that, but it's centered around moms and their children, or women coming out of domestic violence, or prison, and it just sets you up for success. You know, it's God-centered. And so they really just put me in an apartment with my kids, and we were able to all coexist, and I've learned how to be at home again. And so, I mean, that's what happened, you know, but I mean, I always get my own place. I mean, I feel like this is kind of beating the dead horse. Like, I get out, I start using again. I meet a guy at rehab.
The one.
Oh, I swear to God, he is, though. I really think he is. I love him. And we have a baby together, and I love him. And so, but we get out of the Hope House, and I get a house, and I'm pregnant with Bud. And I don't last very long. I last maybe 3 days.
What year is this?
This is 2000 What year are we in?
We're 24.
24.
2018?
Okay.
2019? That's 5. It'll be 5 this year. 2019. God, you guys, I can't think of a year. You got me screwed up. I forget my kids' birthdays.
So when you're living in this Hope House, you
Yes.
meet Boog's dad?
Nope, met him in rehab.
Okay. Okay, so you got out from Hope House and then went to back to rehab? And then met him?
No, I met him before Hope House.
Oh, okay.
I met him at Community House after Providence.
Gotcha.
So we,
Co-ed rehab.
no, man, they're wild. Ooh, shit. I mean, they're wild. Community House is wild, period. But, so we get out, and I get a house, and I used for a little bit, but I was able to not use anymore, and have the baby and all that stuff. But then I have C-section, so here comes the pain pills, you know, and those ran out, so then it was kratom. And then I don't really like feeling fuzzy and sleepy. I like feeling awake. I gotta take care of kids. And so I start doing that again, you know, and he's pretty much in and out. You know, he's going to rehabs, coming back, all that stuff, and I'm stuck with kids, raising up.
Where are you staying at this time?
I'm on the east side of Oklahoma City.
Ooh, the hood.
Yes, I love the hood. I feel very comfortable there. And so that's where we are. It's so weird, like, going in this timeline. I don't usually tell it at this type of detail and length because I feel like
You're doing great. I mean, you were really nervous.
make sure you get sober. Damn, I go to rehab a lot. I ain't even got sober yet. There's still another rehab left.
That's what my sponsor said. Get sober fast.
Get sober fast.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, she went to rehab again. And I did it again. And you get lost.
Yeah.
Like, shit. And so I went out to this place called Whitefields. Okay, I just want to point out to you guys that when I am using and stuff, they always put me in these leadership roles, okay? And nobody ever says anything. So I'm just out there wilding out, okay? And nobody says anything. So, public service announcement, if you guys see me wilding and out, please say something.
So you're at Whitefields and or how old is Blue? at this time?
He's a new baby, so he's
Okay.
probably like 3, 6
Months.
months, 3, 6 months, something like that. And so I'm out there, it's supposed to be like some.
The other two kids are there with you?
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah, so
And you wow.
I am a sobriety leader out there, and I'm vacuuming my garage at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
Okay, so it is intense, and nobody says anything. And the guy that owns it out there, just oblivious to what I am doing. And it is insane. So I'm going to the casino because I have a severe gambling problem when I'm high. I took out lots of loans, online loans, all the stuff. So my credit is shit. And so, I mean, before I know it, I'm getting eviction from out there, and I don't even think they could evict me. That's the last thing that place is gonna do is evict you, and he took me to court. He took me to court, and he still did not evict me. He packed up all my stuff for me and put it in one of their barns so that I could go to rehab. He told me he would wait for me. He would wait for it. He'd just leave it there when I got out. And when I went to Landmark, I called Hope House. And it had been like a year and a half or something because it had been a while since I had been at Hope House. And I called them and they said, "We were just thinking about you, Lacee. We had a team meeting today and I'm supposed to call you and see how you're doing." And they already knew how I was doing. And I was like, "I don't have anywhere to go." They said, "We have an apartment for you right now."
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like divine intervention. Like God seeded all that. And so I get out and that's what I do. I go to Hope House. And I'd like to say I stayed sober. But this is the last run, and this is the one where I'm in a sobriety. I am in a community leadership role again. And I go to the doctor because I got ADHD. And prescription pills with my name on it have never been an issue for me. It's never been my story. And it is now. Adderall pisses me off. Like, it does not matter, you take 3, but it does not get you there, and that will make you mad as shit. And so I gotta get something to get me there. And so I did that, and I don't know where it changed. These sound effects are great.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad. And so I'm there in my Hope House, and I'm just dying, dude. I'm dead, and I can't tell you what changed, what happened, except Boog's dad told me that it wasn't our family he didn't want, it was me. And I don't know why that struck a nerve so badly that I had to look at myself. Because the whole time, through my addiction, he was the problem. Because I stayed and I raised these kids. I didn't get to leave. I didn't get to go do these things and all. I stayed the whole time, and I always used him as that scapegoat for acting the way that I do. And for him to say that to me for something just that simple, sparked something inside of me that was like, damn, I'm gonna lose everything I've ever wanted. Because the truth is that I got ambitions for a family. And I'll put that ambition for this family above a man as a husband, me as a wife, and I will take kids through shit. And I will drive this man through hell just to maintain that idea that we're a family. You know what I'm saying? And all that was going up in flames. And I saw it. Everything I ever wanted was going to not be mine. And that's when it happened in that bathroom. Screaming silently so the kids can't hear me.
We're in 2022 now.
Yeah, we're in March. We are March, what? I'm going to say March 9th. It is March 9th. It's probably 7 p.m. And I was screaming silently in that bathroom crying. And I just remember saying, "I'll do whatever you want." And all I remember hearing was, "Flush that Adderall down the toilet. Get rid of everything you have." And I did. And I did. And I remember the next day I called my person, my mentor, my sponsor. I texted her first because she's been my sponsor even when she didn't realize she was. She's like the sponsor, and I'm like, "Who's your sponsor?" "This person." You always have the answer ready. And I texted her, I said, "I'm probably going to cry." And she said, "I'm probably going to cry too." And thank God that she stuck around. And that God she stayed. You know, and she was there at that exact moment when I needed her. She saved my life. She filled the empty spaces between my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like those thoughts that I have will ruin me. It's like Russian roulette in here. You know, I'm just one tick away from making really bad decisions. Like I think too much. I gotta tell this bitch to shut up. She does. She thinks too much. I remember I was driving in the car and I looked in my mirror and my face is just fucking scrunched. Like, damn, that's why you got a headache, bitch. Like, stop thinking. You know what I mean? Stop thinking so much. And so that's what we did. You know, I called this lady, and all she could say was, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And I believed her. I didn't know how it was gonna be okay. I did not know how, but it turned out to be okay. You know, and I got through that hard time. And
So this time you don't go to her.
no, God's grace, man. Like I said, that grace that He gave me, that shelf life, I seize that shit.
Yeah.
Like it stays. Like it stays, and I hope that I have learned through application and persistence and daily routines and commitments that I have to keep doing those things. Or it doesn't matter how long that race has been. It's got a shelf life if you let it, you know. And I just don't want it to become stale, you know, because that's a really hard place for me to be, is the mundane. When I start seeing life as it, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to find purpose.
Beauty.
Yeah, in everything, man. And it's like my brain does not shut off. Like when it's sleep time, do you all just go to sleep?
No,
Not me. No.
I gotta use a TV and know
Yeah, man. Like it's always running, man. And like it is took, like I think about it like playing with my kids. Like I gotta set. Sometimes get to the point that I gotta put a 10-minute timer on my phone and sit down with my son. And for 10 minutes, I'm dedicated to him. That means I don't get to worry about folding, cooking, cleaning, nothing. It's just him. You know, and that's what I've had to do in my life. I mean, if that's the only gift that I get from sobriety and being in recovery is to be in the present, because I've lived too far back there, and I've got too much fear for what's ahead. You know, God has got to be the center of it all, or it's nothing going to happen. It's going to be all pointless. And that's another thing, man. Like God, like, can you imagine, like, not believing? Like, we came from nothing, we mean nothing, and life goes absolutely nowhere.
I couldn't.
That's
about me.
hell.
I know a lot of my followers. There's probably a lot of followers. My followers think that way. But, no, I can never. I can't imagine. But I think it's because of what I've been through, but only for God could I still be here, and I know that because I went through hell. So there's no way that I couldn't believe.
Yeah, it was like for me, if it wasn't for something bigger than me, I wouldn't be alive. I mean, that's
And just listening to your story, I can see God in all the little pieces. You know, like the same thing with my story. The moment, you know, your moment of surrender sitting in the bathroom, my moment of surrender, you know, right after I made that moment of surrender, I could see God in everything, and even in the little things. So I don't know. I think those who don't believe or can't believe, maybe their eyes aren't open. They can't spiritually see.
Yeah.
The way we, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have spiritual eyes for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I can't imagine not believing.
It's weird. It's like
It'd be dark.
It's like whenever the way I kind of looked at it, like when I was younger, like if I'm going to church, God sees me doing good. But as long as I'm not worshiping the devil,
Scoreboard, God.
yeah, I'm not doing anything wrong if I'm out here getting fucked up and, you know,
as long
busting out people's windows, robbing people,
as long
selling
as you
people's
don't have
cars.
to church on Sunday.
Well, no, I didn't even go to church. It was just as long as if I was going to church, he's seeing that. But if I'm not doing it, there's a gray area. That's what it was with me. There's a little gray area, and like I went to church growing up, but I wasn't forced into it. But I knew that there was something more out there, But I always wanted to live in that gray area.
Church is great. Don't get me wrong. Like it does things. It got me to a better worship. It taught me to pray better and to read things. But it didn't do it all for me. I had to find people in recovery that, and not that I don't believe that Jesus could come in and miraculously change my brain.
Right.
I do believe that, but I believe that his plan for me is different.
Right.
His plan for me is to be out here with people like me and to help them do this.
So where are you at right now with your sobriety? What do you do to give back and all that stuff?
What does life look
Yeah.
like today?
Oh my gosh, busy. Y'all,
Yeah.
busy. I just did a cookout for Hope House for some of the graduates that are in the apartments that we're at. We did a cookout. I went to Zach Bryan last night. Shout out to Zach Bryan.
Shout out to
I just want to know if you listen or this comes across your feed, you are playing in Tulsa in December and me and my friend Kendra Allen would like to come.
Shout out Kendra.
Yes, and so just FYI if you want to win some tickets.
I mean, a couple tickets wouldn't.
Please. And so yeah, man, and I work a job. Like, I've been at the same job for like 3 years. It's crazy. And I do money. Like, I handle money. Like, I'm a fall down junkie, You know what I mean? I take out loans everywhere and go to the casino. And I handle money. And it's been good. I do a lot of things in recovery. On a lot of different committees. Put on a lot of different functions for people who are also in recovery. So that we can gather and enjoy life. And so my days are always busy, my weeks are always busy, commitment after commitment, and a trail of little minions that follow, that I get to help through, sobriety and so they can experience life. So yeah, life is good.
Isn't that the most beautiful thing about recovery is giving it back and watching someone else recover?
Yes. Like, I see God in it. Like, there's, to watch women get their children, that they were hopeless. Like, just like the judge told me, there was no point. And to watch restoration of families is the most beautiful thing that I can ever experience, even in my own life. To watch families be restored is just the best thing. And to watch women become women. But I'm a lady, through and through, and I have found it most beneficial to find the woman that is not ladylike. Because that's what I learn from the most. That's what I give love and tolerance to, and to be able to stand next to her. My friend Kendra is she is my best friend. To be able to have this experience with her and to watch her get her kids back and go to graduate school and get the job that she wants and be in recovery and experience concerts with her and is one of the best surprises that I've gotten in this life, and I think that she will be my friend for life.
So you're having fun in recovery?
Yes.
It is possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have to be fucked up.
Yeah. I have a blast.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome seeing people being restored to their families and stuff like that. Like last year was the first time that whenever I came home, like for a long time I didn't see my daughter from the age 2 to last year, and to see her face to face after so long, I never thought it was gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the day she was born, I cried. And then when I seen her face to face, I was starting crying, but it never skipped a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to look at me and tell me, she forgives me and she don't want to see me go back down that road again.
Yeah.
That shit means a lot.
Yeah, it's like, and that's like even circling back to the God thing. Like, if it's like people, anybody that has any women that have had children and struggle with that God concept, like, I just think about the first time that I saw them, like the first time I heard their cry, the first time I touched them. Like, I knew no matter where I was at in life, every choice, decision I ever, consequence I ever had, led me up to this exact moment to be your mom. And like that had to have been God. Like, I'm the perfect fit for you, you know? And I mean, that feeling, it's like God has to be real, right? But
So, Coach Dad, seeing the pictures too?
yes, restoration is happening. It is slow. It has been tedious. It has been, and it's still a work in progress. You know, just like him and me, I think sometimes we have cakes that are not all the way baked. You know, I gotta get back to put in the oven. You know, so to see sometimes. You know, yeah, it is as long. I do believe that. I do believe that God knows the desires of my heart. And I have manifested it, and I have seeded, and I have pruned, and I have restored myself. And I'm still doing that. And that's hard work. You know, that is hard work to do that. But I do believe that He knows the desires of my heart and what I want. And right down to the man in His name. So, awesome. Yeah.
So, we asked you this earlier. What would be your question for our next guest coming up? Oh, yeah. On the spot.
And write that down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Any question?
It could be silly. It could be deep.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's not waffles or pancakes.
I would like them to tell me a riddle.
Okay. That's awesome.
Can they use Goodwill?
I mean, you can, but that's not fun.
Right.
I'm gonna just say no Google.
And then we'll Google it when it happens.
Let's fact check it.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on tonight, and it's really cool. Like I said, we're gonna try and do like a follow-up episode with you. I don't know how long. Like I said, we're booked all the way to August, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have an open space, but it's taken.
So it's not open
It's
space.
not open space. Well, we might have another open space, but one open space is taken. We figured that out today, but another one might not be taken. But we do have some really good guests coming out, and it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a lot more. We've been having a lot more fun, us three.
We're gonna have a been around the block sign.
I know we've had people comment on the walls.
Yeah, it
It's bare.
is very.
Yeah.
So we do apologize, guys.
This is a bachelor's pad.
We're gonna have a been around the block sign. So if any of y'all out there make neon signs,
You could donate. I mean,
We need some artists. I know a few artists. I'm gonna put some some names in the hat. Let's see something.
oh yeah, talking about logo.
How about we challenge somebody to make us
A logo.
a logo?
Been around the block logo.
Yeah.
and banner.
Everybody out there on the internet is a graphic designer, so come on. Let's see.
Use AI. We don't really care.
Yeah, just put your own little spin on it. But Lacee, it's been so awesome. I'm glad that you came on.
So much.
And you did really good. You were nervous. You did great.
Just because I didn't know I was going to have to tell my story.
You
I
did
just thought
great.
we would be on here and just like shoot the shit.
So when we go and ask you this, we are shooting the shit kind of, but like, okay, so what would be your suggestion to give our other guests heads up? We've asked this before and they, we kind of got the answers, but.
Okay, you are going to have to tell your story.
Okay.
Was not prepared. And get here early.
Yeah.
Like, get here early. And if you don't know these guys, get to know them a little bit.
Yeah,
Be in their atmosphere.
We're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're alright.
Pretty fucking cool. Me and his
I'm like
initial-
the humblest guy ever in the world.
I'll say my biggest quality is how humble I am.
Oh, shit.
And me and Bradley both have the same initials, BS.
Yeah, see, you tell me that every time. I remember now. I forget and I remember.
So thanks for tuning in to BS and
Yeah, we know, so.
CR.
All right, thank you guys.
All right,
See you next week.
All right, thanks.
Mic check, mic check.
Like chicken. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Oh, here you go.
Oh shit, did you stop that?
My ears are
When
sweaty.
that,
Yeah.
Runs my bad.
I will.
Oh,
Shit, made my ears sweaty.
I thought